Hello, pack members. Taliana Wolfus here. This is the first time you've seen me in makeup in literal years, probably, about. And we're going to be talking about something pretty fucking serious. About a month ago, I had a mental breakdown. And then I had a plan. And then I had my roommates take me to the ER because I knew I had a plan and I understood what that meant. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, I had a major panic attack, mental breakdown, and then I made my suicide plan. And the number one thing you are asked when you go to the ER and you are in this mindset, or you call crisis line and you're in that mindset, every single one of them is going to ask, do you have a plan? Because having a plan is often the difference between I'm having a bad day and I just kind of want to die and I'm going to do it. That is the difference. Sorry, I had a lipstick bleed. It's bothering the shit out of me because it looks like I have an infection in real life. There we go. So, I had a plan. And I had myself taken to the ER. I was able to not go through with the plan. I was able to make it and go to the ER and get help. When you're in that mindset, you have to remember everything your brain is telling you, unless it's go get help, is a lie. My brain told me my roommates were going to be angry at me for needing to go to the ER. My brain told me that my parents were going to be disappointed in me for being mentally ill and for having to go to the ER. Like, my brain was lying to me. And I was listening to it. And I was able to break away. My roommates weren't angry with me for needing to go to the ER. My parents weren't disappointed in me. My dad and my mom and my sister, my whole family is mentally ill in some way. Whether it's anxiety, seasonal depressive disorder, depression, OCD, like, it runs in my family. They weren't going to be upset with me. They were worried. Everyone was just worried. And everyone was happy that I said something and I got help. Everyone was happy that I was trying to get better and that I understood that I needed help. They're not going to be angry with you for being suicidal unless they're real pieces of shit. Your support system is not going to abandon you when you need help. And that's one of the hard things to remember. And it really, for me, it was really cemented when, the morning after I get out of the ER, because I got released, luckily. It only took 7 hours to finally talk to the social worker. My mom and my parents were worried. They were talking about coming up from Arizona and getting me and taking me back. They were talking about driving up to check on me. I told them not to. I thought I talked them down. I thought everything was fine. Well, kind of. I knew there was a great chance my family would still be here. Because we'll go, yeah, okay, we get it. And then they'll go, I need to do it, 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 I need to do it. And that's exactly what ended up happening. Except for instead of, 3 days later, my parents being parked outside of my house, that night my mom had flown up from Arizona and was knocking on my front door. Scared the fuck out of my roommates. It was kind of hilarious. But my mom showed up, and she took me to a crisis counselor, and she told me that she would make sure I had my medication. I'm not employed right now. The only reason I've got a phone working at the moment is because my mom paid for it while she was here. I didn't have a phone for months. I on my own, I won't be able to afford my medication. I won't be able to do it. I have food stamps and that's it. But my mom came up and she's like, got your phone covered, got your pills covered, your medical expenses done. You're fine. Go. Get help. Because one of the things stopping me for months, and one of the things I kept telling myself is, I have to wait till I have a job. I can't afford it. My mom made it, she took that excuse, because I'm looking back at it, it was an excuse. I'm afraid. And I used it as an excuse, and my mom took that excuse away. And she kept taking away excuses. And it made me just finally face the fact that I was afraid. I was afraid to go to this therapist, because that means I'm nuts, is what I was thinking. And it's not true. You know, going to a psychiatrist, going to a therapist, talking to someone online, talking to someone on the phone, calling crisis line, doesn't make me nuts. It means I need help and I'm willing to get it. I was told in the ER that it doesn't matter if I'm just having a rough day or if I just want to check in and tell them I'm fine. They told me that I could use a fake name. They said, don't wait until it's a crisis to call crisis line. They said, just go, just do it, just call them. Because they can talk you down, they can help you out, they can give you advice, they can just chat with you for a minute if you need some help. And it really helped with things. It helped get my mind in order. And then that next week, after my mom went home, she stayed with me. I stayed with her at our hotel room. My mom actually bought me pot to help treat my anxiety because that's what led to it was a panic attack. It was an extreme panic attack on top of the fact that I have chronic depression. On top of the fact that there's a chance I'm bipolar. And according to the doctor, there's a great chance I'm bipolar and I may end up on bipolar medication. But my mom bought me weed. She got me weed, she got me cannabis, and I'm using it to treat my anxiety. Next week, I go to the doctor, and they put me on lamotrigine. Lamotrigine is a mood stabilizer. It's helped exponentially. I'm not even on the full dose yet. It takes about 2 months to get on the full dose so that you don't get a rash anywhere. But, you know, I'm on about half the dose right now. I feel like putting on makeup. I feel like moving. I feel like doing things. And it's the first time I've felt that way and didn't have to fucking force myself to get out of bed for years. It's the first time in months, in the last 8 months, that I've wanted to put on makeup. It's the first time in the last 3 or 4 years that I've been wanting to be up and cleaning the house and making things look nice and feeling great about my space. It's the first time in years that I've wanted to do these things, and it's the first time in months that I'm able to do these things. Because even when I didn't want to, I was making myself. And then the last few months, I stopped being able to make myself. And then I ended up in the ER. And I'm upset that I waited that long. But I wanted to make this video to tell you guys about it, to tell you the fact that, you know, within a week I was on medication, and that even though it's been a month and some things happened, I'm going to see my therapist, a therapist, on the 27th. I'm working on it, and I'm working really hard on it. And I wanted to tell you guys that it's not impossible, and it doesn't have to be expensive. Crisis Line is free. 7 Cups, their people on there, unless they're an actual therapist, are free. You can talk to these people. You can get help. Yes, a trip to the ER is expensive, but damn it, it's worth it. And if you need the help, you can get it. I'm going to put the links and stuff down below for Crisis Line, 7 Cups, probably a few other things that I find. But, yeah, I'm gonna do all that in the bottom of this video. But yeah, just, your support system doesn't hate you. If you have a plan, you need to go in, period. If you have a plan, if you make an actual plan, go to the ER. It seems scary to go to a therapist, but there is no shame in it. Even neurotypical people, if they exist, will benefit from going to see a therapist. Even neurotypical people will benefit from talking to people on Crisis Line, or talking to people on 7 Cups, or having an app on their phone that just helps them restructure the way their thought works. Even neurotypical people will benefit from these things. There's no shame in being on medication. It means you're treating it. There's no shame in talking to a therapist. It means you're working on it. You don't need to be afraid. You don't need to be ashamed. You don't need to be upset. It's okay to deal with these things. And it's okay to talk about these things. And it's one of the reasons I'm making this video, is because I was ashamed. I was upset. I thought I was bad. And I still have some of those thoughts, but they're getting better. I'm still working on it. It's going to take years, but it's getting better. And I want to say it does get better. It's not going to be perfect right away. It is going to take years and years and years. For every one negative thing, you need 10 positive things to erase it. It's going to take years for you to get better, but you won't get better if you don't start now. If you don't start, it's not going to get better. If you don't start getting better, you're not going to get better. You're either going to be so depressed for the rest of your life that you have to force yourself to go to work like a robot, or your family's going to bury you. You won't get better if you don't try. I'm trying now. I'm working on getting better. And I want to make sure that other people try to do the same. Don't wait. Don't sit on it. There are free resources. If they're not free resources in your area, there's free resources online. It's hard. It's really hard to think about. But it's important. And I hope that it helps. I'm trying to look at the camera, but it's hard to look at, sorry. But yeah, my mom had to fly up here to help me because she knew there was a chance I would stop. My roommates are still helping me. They remind me to take my pills. They let me know when I'm having a bad time and I need to separate a little. They give me ideas. They help me through, at-home therapies like cognitive therapy and something like my roommate and I both call it now, retraining my rat. Your mind is a rat. Just think about this. Your mind is a rat. And if you mistreat your rat, and your rat is going to bite you. My mind is biting me. I guess I should explain a little more. Part of my issue is I have a voice. It's only one. I have a voice over here. And it constantly puts me down. It constantly tells me negative things. It constantly says my friends hate me. And it's to the point now where I audibly hear it. I thought I was schizophrenic. According to the crisis therapist, there's a good chance that I'm not. That it's just something I've developed over the years, mind over matter. I have this voice. I have to argue with it now. I was arguing before, but I was just telling it to shut up. I was just ignoring it. Now I'm arguing with it. I'm actively saying things like, no, you're wrong, and here's why. And that is feeding my rat. Your mind is a rat. Well, I've been mistreating it, I've been ignoring it, I've been yelling at it. Now I'm feeding it, I'm petting it, I'm loving it. And eventually, my rat will love me back. Yeah. It's hard to talk about. I'm sorry, it's really, like, I've been rambling for 15 minutes, but it's really actually hard to talk about it. Because it makes you feel weak. But I'm not weak. Actually, what I was told when I went to the ER and I said that, I didn't do anything, but I needed to come in, I was told that was strong. When I talked to my roommates and said I needed to go, I was told that was strong. When I went to the crisis therapist and I told her why I was there, I was told that was strong. Treating it is a proof of strength, not a proof of weakness. Remember that. Treating it is a proof of strength, not a proof of weakness. Feed your rat good things. Yeah, I don't have a lot more to say, really. I'm gonna put links to Crisis Line, I'm gonna put numbers to Crisis Line, including, I think I have a text number. I'll put those in the description. I will be putting on, I'll be putting links to, like, 7 Cups. Maybe I'll start a small series where I review apps that are supposed to help with mental illness and see if I can find any that work well for me and might help you out and give some reviews on that. I'll try to do more videos because when I feel better I feel like doing videos, and I want to do more. I want to be clearer. I don't want to just make a video every time I'm pissed off or every time I'm depressed. This originally was going to be a makeup video, but I ended up not liking it, and it took over an hour because I was rambling about this mental health stuff during it, and it was just bad. But yeah. Remember you can get help. Remember that it's not your fault. Remember that it's not a sign of weakness to get help. It's a sign of strength. And remember, make sure what you're feeding your rat is good. Always be nice to your mind. Argue with it. Don't scream at it. Don't scream that you're wrong, you're fucked up, you're lying. Say, no, you're wrong, here's why. Your roommates hate you. No, you're wrong. Because if they hated me, I wouldn't have gone to the ER. No, you're wrong. If they hated me, I would be homeless. I don't have a job. I don't provide anything to the house. I would be homeless if they hated me. No, you're wrong. They wouldn't have paid for me to come up to Washington from Arizona if they hated me. Your parents will be disappointed in you. No, you're wrong. My dad is mentally ill, and he understands what it's like. No, you're wrong. My mom went through this at my age, and she understands that I'm not fucked up. No, my sister understands. It's gonna take years. For every 1 negative, you need 10 positive. Start the journey now, and, we'll see where we get. See you in the next video, pack members. Peace.